Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a hot minute. This week has been a little weird with some unexpected stuff happening, but maybe I'll get into that during a story time or something. Right. So anyway, today we're going to talk about makeup that I'm glad I never purchased. These are products that I contemplated getting at one point or was deciding between that product and some other product, and I ended up going with the other one or just scrapping everything all together, and I'm so happy that I did because I saved a lot of money. I'm not saying that these products aren't great products. These are popular products that people have really enjoyed and liked, and if so, that's great, so it's not really anything personal or like, these products suck. I don't have them, so I can't make any testament to whether they're like great or not. I'm just glad that I did not spend the money on them, and I'm totally cool with not having them in my collection right now. The first product that I'm going to talk about is the Jaclyn Hill palette. The reason I was interested in this palette was because I think I was trying to update my palette collection. That one looked really pretty, like it had a lot of neutral colors in it and a little pop of like blues and stuff on the corner there. But here's the thing. I don't know, I feel a little weird getting palettes that are like collabs. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm not really into those types of things. I think because they're so Morphe does this all the time where they're always like collabing with different YouTubers or whoever, and it's just like, okay. It looked like it was very versatile, good quality shadows, I guess. But a lot of the colors in the palette, if I really look at them, are colors that I already have for the most part. I know that sometimes with palettes you pop in some really bright colors in the corner there and it makes you think the whole palette is something completely new and different when it's really not. With that particular palette, I was hearing online that the original ones that were put out were like way better than the ones that have been released since. Like they've changed the formula, they're no longer vegan and stuff like that. Not that I like only buy vegan makeup, but yeah, just kind of some weird shady business with that, which I don't really understand. But I'm glad I didn't go with that because I think it would have just been more of the same stuff in my collection at the end of the day. Plus I think it's a pretty big palette. Those Morphe palettes sometimes are just a little too big. I kind of like my palettes to be a little bit smaller. You can hold them easily and not as like crazy. I'm not saying it's not great. I think a lot of people really do enjoy that palette and use it a lot. It's just, I'm okay without it. Let's put it that way. In that same vein, the James Charles palette I was looking at one point, it has all the neon colors in it and neutral colors as well, which makes it really cool so you're not like pulling from all these different palettes. I was looking for something with brighter colors, but at the same time I didn't know how much I wanted to spend since I don't really use bright colors a lot. I just know it's something that I always kind of wanted to have in my collection, but I didn't want them as singles anymore, so I was looking to get rid of my singles or like not that I had a lot of singles, but because I could have like depotted them and made my own little palette, but I don't really like doing that either. So I was just gonna get rid of those and like start fresh and have something small. Well, the original James Charles palette is not small, so it was like $40 and it was like as big as my laptop. And I know the quality was probably great, but like I don't need those colors to be that large, and I don't want a palette that big. Again, with the whole like collabing thing with Morphe and YouTubers, I'm just kind of like, I'm not hating on the game or anything, but I just kind of, I don't want someone else's name like splashed all over my makeup. Like, I'm just not into that aesthetic, I guess. And I know that there has been like mini palettes that were released of the same thing that probably would be a lot more appealing to me, but I'm over it. Like I bought the BH Cosmetics one that has the same amount or similar types of fluorescent colors, and I have neutral colors I can mix, so I'm glad I didn't spend the $40 the first time around and went with a cheaper version that maybe might not be as good quality, but honestly for fluorescent colors that I don't wear a lot, I think that I made the right decision with that. And Morphe palettes in general. There was a time when I was like really intrigued by the Morphe brand. I have a lot of their brushes. At one point I was really intrigued by their palettes, like with the 9-pan ones and even like the bigger ones, and they look like they're inexpensive for the quality. Yet I never somehow dove in and bought any. There's something about these palettes, and in general for a lot of palettes, there's just so many repeat colors in each palette. I mean, they re-release palettes with the same colors, I feel like. A, and B, even within the same palette you have like 20 brown shades. Like, okay, maybe like I get that sometimes shadows can look the same but go on really different, so I get that. But so I'm like, I think they're too overwhelming for me. I think the big ones are, at least. Like there's just so many similar colors. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm trying to do here. It's kind of overwhelming. I just like to keep it basic, you know what I mean? Okay, that's cool that you get to like play around with different shades. I do like that aspect, but I don't know. I just feel like how different are each shade to each other truly with some of these palettes. Like, I don't know. And again, with my singles that I have, I could probably create my own Morphe palette from all the shadows that I own, so I just didn't see the point, and it would just be more, again, of the same type of thing in my collection. And Colourpop kind of does the same thing. Like, a lot of these like budget-friendly companies that release a lot of palettes around the same time, like a lot of the colors look very, very similar. And I know there's like different themes, and like there's purples, and then there's like nudes or whatever, and like I get that, but yeah, it's just like a lot of them look alike. I'm just like, I was blown. Like, I went on the Colourpop website and I was like looking at the I guess their profile picture or like background picture, whatever, and it was literally like I'm like, they're all like shades of tan. Like, it was crazy. So again, no hate. Colourpop makes great products, I guess. I just won't buy palettes like when there's dupes being created of the same thing like over and over and over again, like, or similar things that are similar enough that you can get away with having one and not like 100, you know what I mean? So no hate, but just for my wallet and my current collection, I think that we're good. This is my last eyeshadow palette that I'm glad I didn't get. This is the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. This is a bunch of matte colors that I thought would be a good workhorse product to own, because I was really needing something that was just, you know, really handy and would be useful. And I ended up going with the e.l.f. Matte for Matte palette, which is a lot cheaper. I think I only paid like $5 for mine. But yeah, the Kat Von D one, I was reading reviews, it was really great. I'm just glad I never went with it, because I think when it comes to matte shadows, I don't really need to be spending a ton of money to get the desired effect for what I need. Even though the Matte for Matte palette by e.l.f. isn't like the best palette ever, I think it does what I needed to do, and at a fraction of the cost. So they rebranded, it's not even the same brand anymore. And I'm not like 100% on all the drama. I don't follow like every little thing that these people do, but there's some shadiness going down from what I heard. I mean, it's just makeup at the end of the day. Like, if you put it on your face, like, whatever, but you know what I'm saying? So I'm just glad I didn't go with that one. I'm glad I went with the Matte for Matte e.l.f. kit, so it does the job. The Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lipstick is another one that I was contemplating. I was really interested in the brand. I still am interested in that brand, and I thought that would be an easy product to kind of segue into Charlotte Tilbury products, because, you know, I heard that Pillow Talk was like a very universally flattering shade, and it would be something I would wear and get a lot of use out of. If I'm not mistaken, the price of that lipstick's like in the 30s, and which is fine. Like, I don't mind splurging on lipstick if I really like it and I find it's going to be really valuable and I'm going to love it. But I felt like, okay, it's really pretty and I know people love it and it's universal and all that, but I was thinking, like, if it's that, like, a type of nudie type of pink, out of all the lipsticks I have, like, you mean to tell me I don't have a color just like that? Formula maybe might be a little bit different, but like in general, like, I have to have something that's kind of dupeable. So I went to Sephora, swatched it, actually kept the swatch on my hand until I got home, and turns out I have a dupe. At least for me, it seems like a dupe. I'm not 100% sure, but color-wise, the NYX Pencil Ever is like a really, to me it seemed when I swatched them on my hand side to side, the shade Ever was literally almost the same color. Maybe not exactly. I know it's like a pencil, it's not a lipstick, but when I pulled this out and wore it again, I was really happy with the results, and I'm like, I'm getting my fix through this pencil, and I already have it. I'm trying to not incorporate new makeup into my collection that much, and I was just happy that I had something that was pretty similar and kind of made me less interested in buying a $34 lipstick. So I decided to just stick with this and be happy, and I'm so glad I did, because I saved 30 something bucks. I don't know for future me like what I would do, but I feel like for now I'm good and I no longer really want that lipstick. I think I'm really happy with my dupe there, and it's cheap. So, and it stays on my lips pretty well, so I'm pretty good with that. The Laneige lip sleeping mask I was very interested in, because I have very chronically dry, chapped, flaky lips. Like, they're always dry and chapped. I don't know why. It's always been like that ever since I was little. Like, they're always peeling and stuff. For someone with dry lips, it just sounded interesting and it sounded really cool and something I could like. And the texture seemed different enough, so I went to Sephora to swatch, and it did feel emollient, not your typical like balm, you know what I mean? When I sampled it and like tried it on and, you know, was walking around the mall with it just to see how it felt, I wasn't really like that impressed overall. Like, it felt nice on the lips, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, like my lips are just transformed by this. Mind you, it was only like walking around the mall. I wasn't like wearing it all day long, but it's a little expensive. And honestly, what I found worked the best for my lips, my chronically peely dry lips, is straight up lip gloss. Like, that's the best thing for my lips right now. It works better than any lip balm in terms of like exfoliating my lips. Once I slap plain lip gloss on my lips, all that dead skin just like peels off all by itself, and my lips are soft, they're comfortable. And I know that might sound like some people don't like the idea of going to bed with a gloss on their lips, but it's not like I pile it on. I just like wear just a little bit to keep my lips moisturized, and it doesn't, my lips don't dry out. Like literally I use a cheap one from Express that I have, and like a clear gloss from Sephora, or really any clear gloss is like, so I feel like I'm pretty satisfied with those products. So no need to spend more on a really expensive one. Not that I'm saying I wouldn't try those products in the future, but like, I don't know, for now I'm good. Glow Recipe kind of intrigued me a bit. Like their night, I guess it's like a nighttime sleeping mask. It's like a watermelon one, the one that you see everywhere. That looked really interesting to me because I like the ingredients. I like the idea of like a sleeping mask, even though it's probably just a moisturizer gel thing. That looked really interesting. I think it has hyaluronic acid in it and all that other stuff, but so does The Ordinary. There's a lot of products by The Ordinary that have the same type of ingredients, so I've been using those and getting my fix through that. And I have a tea tree nighttime mask by The Body Shop that I really like for like that gel type of texture. So I feel like between The Ordinary and that tea tree mask, night mask thing, like not that they're the same exact thing as the Glow Recipe, but I found that I got my fix through those products, you know what I mean? So I don't need to buy and splurge on a different product when I already kind of have those in my other products, you know? So, I mean, again, I'm not closed off to trying that in the future. I think it would be nice to try and see if I like it, but I'm glad that I never splurged and bought that product. Like, I just don't need it, so we're good to go on that. It's funny because I'm one of those people who's really into brushes, and I used to always love watching, like, people on YouTube put makeup on, and like was really always paying attention to the kind of brushes they use to apply their makeup. It's like you had to have the same exact one, or like, I don't know, I'm a dork. Like when they would apply it, I'd be like, wow, I really like how that brush fans out when they apply. Like, what am I even, like, I don't even know what I was thinking. But one brush that I really wanted that was really popular on YouTube was the Sigma E40, which everybody had. And I did buy, here's the thing, I did buy Sigma E40, but it wasn't the same one. I feel like they changed it or something because it looked a lot thinner and not as tapered as the original. So I was like really kind of upset about that, and I wanted to find a dupe or the original Sigma E40. So I was like on this hunt looking for similar brushes and blah blah blah, and just decided that that's it. I'm not gonna look for any more. I have so many like similar like crease brushes that blend that are from Morphe or wherever, and like I have so many brushes that do the same thing. Like, why am I trying to do that? And I'm glad the hunt for that brush is over. So I'm glad I didn't buy that one or look for a dupe, because I feel like that would have been such a waste of my time when I already had brushes that worked. And that's how a lot of brushes are in general. Like a lot of them can be dupes for other brushes and honestly do the same exact thing. They might not be the same name brush or whatever, but a lot of crease brushes are very similar and blending brushes are very similar. So like sometimes they're just like different by a hair. They're like different by like just a little bit, and it's like not that big of a deal. But I get it because I love brushes and I like having a little collection and assortment of them, but it's just one of those things that was a lost cause. I wish that they had the original, but I'm okay not trying to find one just like it. You know what I mean? So we're moving on from that, from the Sigma E40 life. And the last brush or last product I want to talk about is the Smith 203 brush. It's a brush that Samantha Raventhal was using to line her eyes, and I was just intrigued because the actual length of the bristles was so tiny, and it looks like it would put the perfect wing on your eye because it's like so small, so precise. And I was like really trying to be having that. I already have liner brushes, but I felt like this one was just like so different and like would make a big difference. But honestly, I don't really do winged liner that often, and the brushes that I do have to do wing liner do the job. So why am I trying to spend, and those brushes are expensive, the Smith ones, like they're a lot of money, and I'm like, what am I trying to do here? Like I don't want to spend that much money for something that I have other products that can do the same exact job. So I'm glad I didn't go with that. Those are some products that I'm glad I did not go for. I like to sit on my products and make a wish list and contemplate and think about it for a while, and I'm so glad that I do that because it saves a lot of money. And I realize over time, like, your interest in products go down a lot if you give it enough time, and you realize that a lot of products that you have do the same exact thing. So yeah, let me know, is there anything that you're glad you didn't buy? Realize you had stuff that worked pretty similar or good enough that made you not want to buy those products anymore? Please comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!